Our third speaker this evening is Michael Johnson. Michael is a sophomore in telecommunication and film with a concentration in media production and minoring in general business. Let's welcome Michael.
Prior to boarding a cross-country train that would take him from New York City to Hollywood, California, Walter Elias Disney sent a telegram to his brother Roy, who, at the time, was in Hollywood, California. "Don't worry, everything is okay," the telegram read. But to Walt's knowledge, everything was not okay. What Walt neglected to acknowledge in this telegram was the disaster that had just occurred. Walt Disney had lost the right to produce any further cartoon featuring his first successful character, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. On top of that, all of his artists had been hired away by Universal Studios. Facing disaster, Walt had to come up with a new character, one that he would own the right to. Inspired by a pet mouse he owned as a child, he proceeded to sketch a mouse. On a cross-country train ride from New York City to Hollywood, California, with business fortunes low and facing disaster, Mickey Mouse was born. Mickey Mouse has become the iconic symbol of the Walt Disney Company. According to an article written in 2003 by Darren Waters of the BBC Online Entertainment staff, Mickey Mouse is a figurehead of a global commercial empire. It's been 87 years since Mickey Mouse first appeared, and since then, the Walt Disney Company has become just that, a global commercial empire that consistently provides loyal audiences with quality entertainment. This loyal audience members stand before you tonight, having researched the company's past, looked into the company in the present day, and examined the steps the company is taking towards the future. Tonight, you will be informed on the Walt Disney Company. First, on the company's past, followed by the company in the present day, and finally, the steps the company is taking towards the future. The beginnings of the Walt Disney Company take us back to October 16, 1923. On this date, Walt Disney signed a contract with Universal Studios to produce a cartoon he was recognized with creating. This contract signing marks the beginning of the Walt Disney Company. The next 5 years featured success, change, and disaster. The company released 2 films in the cartoon series featuring Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. On top of that, a new studio was purchased. However, a promising beginning was short-lived when Walt lost all of his artists and the production rights to Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. From then on, anything the company made, the company owned. A painful lesson learned at such a promising time. However, out of the pain would come a character that would save the company. In 1928, Mickey Mouse was born, marking a new beginning for the Walt Disney Company. Mickey Mouse's cartoon debut in 1928 was met with instant acclaim. The path to success became clear and more cartoons followed. The Silly Symphony series, a cartoon produced by the Walt Disney Company that in 1932 won them an Academy Award for the Best Animated Cartoon. Not long, in 1937, negotiations began to move the company to a different location, and in 1939, the company moved from Hollywood, California to Burbank, California. A major move followed by major plans. In 1953, construction on what is now Disneyland began, and in 1955, Disneyland opened to the public. The public's eye was locked on the Walt Disney Company, eager of its next major enterprise. Suspicions of this began to arise in 1963 with early purchases of massive acres of land near Orlando, Florida. According to the Miami Herald, by 1965, over 30,000 acres of land had been purchased. The Walt Disney Company had been planning the construction of Disney World, a theme park that would eclipse Disneyland in every aspect. However, in 1966, at the age of 65, Walt Disney passed away, 6 years before the grand opening of Disney World in 1971. A quote by Walt Disney: "Times and conditions change so rapidly that we must always keep our aim focused." Walt's death was a dramatic change, but the focus of the company to push through adversity has propelled it into what it has become in the present day. With a list of network and studio acquisitions, the Walt Disney Company exists in the present day as the 3rd largest global media provider. According to an academic journal written by Robert W. McChesney, PhD, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Disney's shift in emphasis from its theme parks to its television and film divisions indicated the move from being a global content producer to a fully integrated media giant. most notably with the company's acquisition of the ABC network in 1995 for $19 billion. These types of acquisitions have been common for the company. Following the purchase of the ABC network was the purchase of ESPN. Today, ESPN is worth nearly $40 billion. In 2006, the Walt Disney Company purchased Pixar Animation Studios for $7.4 billion, followed by the purchase of Marvel Entertainment in 2009 and Lucasfilm, creators of the Star Wars trilogy, in 2012 for the same price. These purchases are benefiting the company for the future as much as they are benefiting the company in the present day. However, one purchase in particular indicates that the company is taking steps towards the future. This past year, as a step towards the future, the Walt Disney Company purchased Maker Studios, one of YouTube's largest multi-channel networks, boasting over 5.5 million online video views monthly. Announcing the deal, Disney Chairman and CEO Robert Iger stated, "Short-form online video is growing. Disney will now be at the center of this industry with an unmatched combination of advanced technologies and programming capabilities." In an interview conducted by IBTimes.com with Peter Ciste, CEO of Monat Digital Media Ventures, he believes Disney's purchase of Maker Studios is to tap into a rich talent pool. Disney feeling that it can leverage the talent across different projects more effectively. Disney sees it as a training ground, a farm club for talent. At the center of this industry and a rich talent pool at its side, the Walt Disney Company is taking steps towards the future. As the words of Walt Disney will tell, we keep moving forward because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Tonight, you've been informed on the Walt Disney Company. First, on the company's past, followed by the company in the present day, and finally, the steps the company is taking towards the future. As loyal audience members and having just been informed on the Walt Disney Company, take away this. It all began 87 years ago on a cross-country train ride from New York City to Hollywood, California, when business fortunes were low and when disaster had struck. It all began with the birth of Mickey Mouse. Thank you.